Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. 2020, has it been a year or has it been a year? How have you been keeping? That's not a rhetorical question. I'm genuinely asking you, how have you been doing? I'm going to assume because you're all really sound, you'd probably ask me the same thing back if we were in a conversation now. And 2020 for me in the grand scheme of things has been okay. Definitely not ideal, but I'm very grateful for the things I have in my life, the things I have access to, the health of myself, the health of my family and my friends. And for that, I am grateful to 2020 for teaching me to appreciate those things. And that sounds so cliche and cringe, but it's the truth. Anyway, about this time last year, no, it was New Year's Eve last year, I went on Instagram Live and I shared what my goals for the year were. I keep all sorts of, this is like my ideas journal where I literally jot down anything that comes to mind. And I'd written them down in this and went on IG Live, but I did not save the live. I wish I did so that I could actually look back on optimistic 2019 Lauren, but I do remember being so happy to see the back of 2019 and feeling incredibly optimistic about what 2020 had in store for me and everyone. And look, I don't think anyone could have predicted what went on in 2020. So I have my goals written down in here and I double checked to make sure I have them and I didn't look at them. So what I want to do in this video is reflect on what my plans were for this year. I also have jotted down ideas for what I'd like to achieve and aim for in 2021. And I reckon there's going to be some overlap, but we'll see. So last year I was heavily inspired by Jen Atkin's method, where she has 8 different headings, and I will list them all in the description box down below if you'd like to use them for yourself for your own goal setting. Oh, by the way, just to premise this, if you survive 2020, that's enough. Do not feel like you need to follow suit here and make lists of things you want to achieve. And even when you do hear my list, they're not huge aspirations either. So just bear in mind, don't ever feel like you need to follow suit here, okay? Okay. So the 8 headings are: I want to quit, I want to learn, I want to start, I want to continue to, I want to try, I'm going to stop, I want to have, and I want to be. I use the same headings for this year and I added in a couple of little extra bits that I want to achieve as well. So one by one we're going to go through my this time last year goals for 2020 and see how did I fare out during the year. Let's see. So my first one is I want to quit having tech or screens in my sleeping space. I would say the first half of the year I was quite good for this, and even still I will always have my phone out of my room charging in the kitchen. That's still a non-negotiable. However, sometimes I will bring my laptop into my room and use that to watch chill meditation or ASMR videos to help me to go to sleep. So I would say I scored 40% in that, so not great. Oh, okay. I want to learn patience, especially when driving. So that's interesting. I have that in my goals for 2021. I have not been very good at this. I actually found my patience has taken a serious nosedive, and it wasn't great to begin with before this year. I think everyone's mental health has definitely been challenged this year, and yeah, I think trying to improve your mental health during a global pandemic is a huge reach, and you're swimming upstream at the best of times, so doing it during like a pandemic is, I'm very clearly trying to make excuses for myself here, but I genuinely think that's a valid excuse, and that is something I do want to continue to work on moving into 2021, my patience. I can get very, very, very short fused for sure. I want to start reading regularly, non-fiction, no self-help. Would that not be fiction then? I'm not really sure what I meant there. I would say I definitely achieved this in 2020. The pandemic actually assisted in that because we all had a little bit more free time at home, I feel like. I definitely read a lot more fiction than non-fiction this year. Something that stuck with me, it's about 2 or 3 years ago now, a fitness influencer came on his Snapchat, I think, and he was basically taking a massive dump on fiction and saying you've nothing to achieve from fiction, and he was also slamming listening to Spotify, and I think the words he used were, what good is listening to Rihanna when you could be using that time to listen to a self-help book and improving? And I remember at the time thinking, yeah, he's so right. But I was also at the time caught up in this huge productivity, toxicity sort of cycle. And now that I've kind of taken a step back from that, I realise the value in innocuous activities such as listening to trash or pop music that, yeah, it might not be teaching you anything, but it still is downtime, a bit akin to a meditation, takes you out of your head and lets you just kind of be in the moment. And I feel the same way about fiction, especially at the start of lockdown. I loved jumping into a fiction book, and seeing as how we can't take real life holidays, I almost felt like I could take a daily little holiday away from real life into this fictional book. And in that way, I definitely do see there's a benefit. So yeah, I think I definitely achieved that this year. The next one, I want to continue to practice yoga and meditate consistently. Both of those fell by the wayside this year. Totally and utterly. I haven't done yoga since, I would say, February or March, and meditation kind of the same. It's so funny to me. At the start of lockdowns internationally, it feels like everyone was taking up yoga and meditation, and totally kudos to them for that. But I was the complete opposite. I stopped it. And I don't know, was it almost like a form of self-punishment? I don't know. But the flip side is, ever since I've stopped practicing yoga, my back has stopped hurting me completely. I don't know, I mentioned that in my last Tub Talk video, my only Tub Talk video, that my back has never been better. So maybe yoga was actually doing more damage to me than good. I don't know. And considering I haven't been meditating, I've been doing pretty well. Now, I'm on an SSRI as well, which is probably helping me with that. Ever since I've gone on that medicine and after I got over the initial kind of period of like adjusting, I kind of feel like every day I feel like I've meditated. Kind of magic. Next, I want to try, oh my god, this is so like high horsey of me. I refuse to answer this because to try alludes to potential failure. And I mean, I get that, and I kind of said something less aggressive in my plans for 2021, but yeah, I was obviously having a very attitudey day that day. Next, I'm going to stop unnecessary cursing and gossiping. Well, and I hate to keep circling back to the pandemic, I wasn't talking to that many people in 2020, so the gossiping definitely has fallen a little bit by the wayside, which is a good thing, I guess, but I definitely still gossiped a little bit. And cursing, I don't think that's changed much either. I mean, inadvertently, when you're talking to less people, you are going to curse and gossip less, so it wasn't an intentional thing, but it probably did happen a little bit. I want to have more time with family. Oh my god. So for the first couple of months of the year, I definitely made strides to spend more time at home with my family, and it was great. We had loads of games nights and we just chilled out, lots of chill time. It was really, really nice. And then obviously lockdown happened and I was spending a lot less time at home. But what that's meant is that when we did get a chance to go home, I feel like I used that time much more wisely. And over Christmas, it was so nice just to chill and spend time together. And lockdowns allowing in 2021, I'm definitely going to focus more on that because you never know what the year ahead holds. And then the last one is I want to be productive and inspiring. So this year I definitely felt like my social media, my goal was not to try to sell so much random shit using affiliate links. Now I'm very fortunate and privileged in that I don't rely on social media as my income. So I definitely do have to acknowledge that. And perhaps if I did social media as my full-time job, I would have felt compelled to post lots of affiliate links and sponsorships. But I actually took a huge step back from all of that. Not that I ever did a huge amount of that anyway, but I wanted to provide content that was like a tiny escape from all that was going on in the world. I did my absolute best to post random stuff. I'd post random conversational question boxes that I found entertaining, and the feedback I got that it was entertaining as well. And in that regard, I definitely feel like I probably did inspire a little bit without sounding completely sanctimonious. With regard to productivity, no, I have been the least productive I've ever been, and I can talk further about that in another video if you'd like, about toxic productivity. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I take a look at my to-do list. So if I go to bed on like a Monday night and I make my to-do list for the Tuesday and I'm like, yes, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to do this, this, this and this. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll look at my list and I'll be like so overwhelmed that I just kind of flake out and do none of it. Does that like resonate with any of you, or is that just me? I think it's a classic headed for burnout symptom for sure. So my counsellor says anyway. Now let's get cracking on what my goals are for 2021. Oh my god, the first page I open is shower and wash hair. I mean, I'd hope I'd do that in 2021. Where did I put them? Okay, first and foremost, I think all of us should aim to survive and prioritise our mental health for 2021. That goes without saying. Above all else, forget everything else I'm about to say or have said thus far. Survival of our family, health of our family and friends, and maintenance of good to manageable mental health should be front and centre. Okay. So I made like a little list, like a brainstormed list here of what I wanted to achieve, and then I slotted them into the headings. I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to do it, that I used before, Jen Atkins. So again, okay, some of these are like harmless, but they're still goals. So I want to start going on more dates. I think 2021 is the year, again, COVID allowing, that I want to go on lots of dates. It's so funny that if any of my friends ask me like anything on the love scene at the moment, Laura, I'm like, would you go out with that? I'm only freshly single. I've been single for years now and I need to accept that fact. And I don't ever feel like I have to go find a man, but I think it could be fun to broaden my horizons and go out and go on more dates. So I have a couple of guys in mind that I want to ask on dates. I've got that on my to-do list for January/February/March, depending on if we're allowed to leave our houses. Okay, secondly, I want to learn. I've several things here, so more about yoga. Now I have a question mark after that. I don't know if I necessarily want to go back to my practice every single day of yoga, but I'd like to learn more about the fundamentals of it. I'd also like to learn a bit more about photography, videography, and psychology. Pretty self-explanatory. Next is I want to try, and I have two things for I want to try. A, explore more parts of Ireland, / do a new hike every month. Think about it, like in a year, I could have ticked 12 new hikes off my to-do list. I think that'd be pretty cool to look back on at the end of the year, but we shall see. And part B is be more patient / slow down. As I mentioned earlier, I want to really work on my patience. What am I rushing through life for? If I'm sitting in really bad traffic on my way home after work, like I'm chewing on my steering wheel figuratively, and I sometimes have to stop and think like, why am I so angry? It's not going to make me achieve anything by being angry. I may as well just sit back, chill, and listen to some fucking Rihanna. Do you know what I mean? I want to continue to learn Spanish. So I've been learning Spanish through Skillshare this year, and I'm now a level 2 beginner. It's so funny. So when I finished my level 1 beginner and I graduated, I thought I was going to move on to intermediate. No. I'm on level 2 beginner now, and I think there's a level 3 beginner as well, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm picking it up quickly. I'm pretty good at picking up languages, and it's really cool to like finish off all the different modules. If you'd like to sign up to Skillshare, I believe I have a link that will get you 2 months free premium, which is what I've been using. I will link it in the description box down below. Love it. I especially love the Spanish class on it. Big thumbs up. I want to quit cursing. Another overlap. Yeah, I feel like cursing is kind of part of my repertoire. It's almost like a personality trait of mine, which is not exactly something to be proud of. And when someone curses, I don't automatically see them as like cooler or anything. And it's not that I'm trying to be cool, it's just a really bad habit I've adopted. And I definitely feel like it shows more competency and intelligence, that you can get your point across in an assertive, passionate manner without using curse words. Not that there's anything wrong with curse words, but do you know what I mean? I think it's something I really want to try, and it's something I've been trying for a few years now on the trot. I want to be content / happy every day. I want to be crystal clear here. That's not me saying I want to be 100% happy 24/7, 365. I want to see and recognize and be grateful for moments of contentness or happiness every day. If that means sipping on my coffee in the morning and that's the only moment of contentness and happiness I have every day, at least I can acknowledge that. Even if the rest of the day is a shit show. Great job on the curse thing there, Laura, but you get what I'm saying. I just want to recognise that every day has at least a couple of moments of happiness in it and to shine light on those. Okay, a financial goal I want to have. I don't know, is this very... Make a decision, Laura. Okay, so I hit a money savings goal in 2020 and I'm really conscious of talking about that because I know a lot of people lost their jobs and are financially insecure at the moment, and I'm definitely not trying to be like a bragger or to try humble bragger and like that's gross, but I also feel like it's very important we do discuss money. I hit a savings goal for 2020 about a month ago and I have another savings goal to hit by this time next year. It's actually irrelevant the amount it is, but I'd be really happy if I hit it, and it's certainly not a huge amount of money, but it would definitely be something to be proud of come this time next year if I do hit it. So I'm going to probably refrain from saying how much it is. It's not relevant and it only serves to make people feel a certain type of way. So yeah, I have a financial goal. I want to hit this amount in my savings account by this time next year. Oh, here's a big one. And when I asked on my Instagram stories what people's goals were, I need to put on deodorant. I just realised I forgot to put on deodorant earlier. I'm gonna stink. This is one that came up the most. The heading is, I'm going to stop mindlessly scrolling social media, and I'm going to try and cut it down to less than 2 hours per day. 2 hours per day might sound like a huge amount to you and it might seem like very little to you. For me, that is definitely a big reduction. Definitely a big reduction for me. I gave myself a pass because when we were spending a lot more time at home, a lot of free time, not a huge amount to do, not really much socializing, I gave myself a pass for the screen times that I was hitting every day, but that can't last forever. That has to come to an end. I hate that new feature in the new iOS on iPhone where they send you through like a report every week of how long on average you're spending per day on the screens. No thank you. No thank you. So yeah, essentially those are my goals for 2021 in my 2020 diary. So I'm going to keep these ones, and this time next year I'll be reflecting on this video to see how I got on. I don't feel like any of them are like mountains to climb or anything like that, but sure, we'll see. God knows what 2021 has in store for any of us. If you'd like to let me know what your goals are, I'd love to especially hear about some interesting ones in the comment section down below. One of the best ones I got on Instagram stories was a girl messaged me back to say she wants to get her new septic tank and build herself a new shed. And I have to bull a bus for the practicality of that. Very, very, very impressed. So yeah, I won't be talking to you again before now and the end of the year. So I'm going to bid you a happy belated Christmas, happy new year. I hope you and all of your loved ones are safe and well. And yeah, I'll see you next year. Thanks for watching. Bye. Mwah.